Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of the Discordancy podcast. Now, as you can tell, you can now see what I'm doing, at least if you're on Spotify. Well, because before we go into our main topic, which you already know what it is, I recently transferred platforms to host my podcast. You know, see, the thing is, when I found out and discovered that it's actually possible to broadcast video podcasts on Spotify for free, I immediately like looked on the internet to see how you can do it. Then I found out that you just have to sign up for Spotify for podcasters, which is formerly Anchor.fm, and and now this podcast is now a video podcast, more commonly known as a vodcast. But feel free to listen to this podcast on audio. This podcast is still broadcasting on audio on, I think, 6 or 5 other platforms. So there are plenty of options to listen to this. Anyways, this podcast is now available to listen on Amazon Music or Audible if you want to. Where is it? Google Podcasts. I think it will shut down on July 29th, so listen to this podcast on Google Podcasts while you can. Deezer. What else? Overcast. Oh no, I don't think it's not on. I don't think it's on Overcast. Castbox though. Castbox. Then Pocket Casts. I think it's a free. No, it's a paid subscription service. So I don't know how you have the money to listen to this podcast on Pocket Casts. Spotify, of course. YouTube and YouTube Music. Now I'm distinguishing YouTube and YouTube Music as two completely separate platforms because they are. I mean, one is for viewing video and the other is for listening to music. However, you can still look at video on on YouTube Music because you can you can. There's nobody stopping you from doing so. Anyways, let's get on with the main topic of this episode, which is divorce. I have talked about divorce once, I think, on my main channel. Go check it out if you can. I'm a bit vocal about this issue. It's not really because I've experienced it before. I'm not a part of a broken family. It's pretty much complete. But I'm passionate about this topic because it I empathize a bit with the people who are currently domestic violence victims in the Philippines, and there are so many reasons why it should be legalized. But we will discuss a bit more about divorce in a bit. There are no ad breaks in this podcast, by the way. Just setting up properly uh the setup. I'm just setting it up properly. I think that's good enough. Anyways, so what even is divorce? So many people don't, I would say, don't really know what divorce is. But basically, it is the act, according to Britannica, you know, according to Britannica, it is the act by which a valid marriage is dissolved, usually freeing the parties to remarry. In regions in which ancient religious authority still predominates, divorce may be difficult and rare, especially when, as among Roman Catholics and Hindus, the religious tradition views marriage as indissoluble. Right. Yes. Uh, you know, it's it's a bit it's quite true because so many Filipinos to this day are really, really religious, and they just don't want any reforms in when it comes to marriage in general in this country, which is a bit sad because there are so many victims of domestic violence and just, I would say, people who are trapped in their marriage because they are not free to do so. Like, there is another option, which is annulment, but it is expensive and difficult to achieve, you know, because the thing is, the the thing is, divorce is pretty much impossible for Roman Catholics and Christians alike here in the Philippines. And annulment is basically impossible too. It's really difficult to achieve if the other party suddenly objects, and you know it's really, really difficult and expensive and very time consuming to achieve annulment, because annulment is just making your marriage void, or null, as in the name annulment, making it just void and just, making your marriage non existent in very basic terms. And it's a bit impossible, you know? Anyways, let's continue. Custom, however, may make divorce a simple matter in some societies. Among some Pueblo Indian tribes, a woman could divorce her husband by leaving his moccasins on the doorstep. The principles of individual determination and mutual consent are making divorce increasingly acceptable in the industrial parts of the world. I'm looking up Pueblo Indians. They are North American Indian peoples known for living in compact permanent settlements, and those settlements are known as pueblos. Representative of the Southwest Indian culture area, most live in northeastern Arizona and northwestern New Mexico. Early 21st century population estimates indicated approximately 75,000 individuals of Pueblo descent. Among pre modern societies, the rate of marital stability is difficult to measure because of the varying definitions of marriage and divorce. It seems to be broadly true that wherever divorce is a legal impossibility, the wedding is a well defined event conducted with considerable formality. The contrary principle does not hold true. Elaborate marriage ceremonial is quite compatible with high divorce rates. Many anthropologists agreed that divorce is generally more permissible in matrilineal societies than in patrilineal ones, in which the procreative and sexual rights of the bride are often symbolically transferred to the husband with the payment of bride price. I think bride price is also known as a dowry, but let's see. Bride wealth. Payment made by a groom or his kin to the kin of the bride in order to ratify a marriage. Yes, it's a dowry. In such cultures, a marriage is not reckoned to have ended until the return of bride wealth has been acknowledged, signifying divorce. Now, I don't think I can call this a divorce. Like the topic of this podcast, I don't think it's called divorce. I think it will be called a divorce rabbit hole, I would say, because I keep getting sidetracked. Or, just divorce. Who knows? You will see. Tree marriage. Alright. Why do... Oh. Right. Yeah, that's what divorce is. Now I will take a quick, sidetrack to just highlight my position in this topic because, like I said about a few minutes ago, I am all for legalizing divorce. It is a process that needs to be legalized for all Filipinos above 18. I don't think people under 18 are getting married and just regretting it instantly and demanding a divorce all of a sudden. But maybe, there are a lot of child marriages in this country. So it's not impossible, I would say. But for me, divorce is, a due process. It gives people the right to end a marriage. Let's say you got into a fight with your now husband of, let's say, 21 years. The both of you are having a fight on finance. Let's call it that. Like your salaries are not the same, but the both of you are quite satisfied because the one of you is a provider and the other is just reciprocating that that service that given what do you call that, providence or providence, I don't know, but you're just returning this service that the provider did to the other party. So the both of you are in a fight because of financial reasons. When I mean by financial reasons, I mean like you're not spending you're spending too much money on things that you don't absolutely need. Like I don't know, you bought 100 Lego sets or 1,000 tables. Maybe it's for a YouTube video, but I don't know, you bought 11 cameras, 12 microphones, 13 headsets, 28 laptops. You're just making it rain on spending recklessly now, and your wife having is now demanding a divorce. But the thing is, you live in, let's say, Butuan, and it's impossible to get a divorce here in the Philippines. Let's look at countries where divorce is illegal. There it is. The Economist has called it, even by the standards of former Spanish colonies, the Philippines has extremely socially conservative laws. It is the only country in the world to outlaw divorce, besides the Vatican City. That's right. Whoa. Come on, man. That is a really, really weird and saddening fact that the Philippines, this country, is the only country in the world besides the Vatican to make divorce illegal. Here, there are so many Filipinos who do not want a legal divorce, They just want an annulment because, like I said, this country is insanely Christian, and we're just here doing nothing to address the problem of divorce and the problem of domestic violence, sexual assault, rape. Just, it's outright wrong, I would say, to make divorce remain illegal in the year of our Lord 2024. Maybe even the Lord disagrees with us, that is not completely impossible, because today divorce is only illegal in 2 states, the Philippines and the Vatican City. In the latter, a city-state within Italy, which is home to a few hundred celibate Catholic priests, laws against divorce are little more than an ideological gesture. But the same cannot be said for the Philippines, where campaigners are desperately fighting for a legal path for citizens to escape unhappy marriages. That's what I'm saying. Let's continue. Over 80% of the Philippines' population is Roman Catholic, and the church has a powerful influence in the country, according to the BBC. The country's Muslim minority is allowed to divorce in accordance with Sharia law, but for the majority, there is no such opportunity. I know, I thought there was a separation of church and state, but it's true. Churches and Christianity as a whole, like religion, has so much influence in Philippine daily life. It's maddening, it's just absolutely maddening. It's insane to just see that kind of fact be an actual fact, like it's true. Situations which are commonly grounds for divorce in other countries, including physical abuse, desertion, or cruelty, are only grounds for a legal separation under Philippine law, a status which prevents either spouse from remarrying. Hold on. What? There are only 3 situations that can be considered legal grounds for a legal separation, not even a divorce or an annulment. Yet, it prevents both spouses from remarrying. So, if you want to get remarried, the only thing you can legally do, if you get away with it, is to kill your spouse. I don't know what else to say. You can only kill your spouse and get remarried if you can get away with murdering your spouse. I don't know. Let's continue. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, no, what? Philippine Statistics. Yep, it's statistics with an S, not a statistic without an S. So, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, one in okay. Now, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority, 1 in 4 married women in the country has been assaulted by their partner. And spousal violence is the most common form of violence experienced by women ages 15 and 49. Wait, 15 to 49. Someone probably edited this article at 2 a.m. Who knows? And yeah, that's right. 1 in 4, that's 25% of married women in the country. What? That's assaulted by their partner as well. Married women. And we'll continue. Women, even if they're in an abusive relationship where their husbands would batter them, even if their husbands are drunkards or are alcoholic or engage in extramarital affairs, and even if they do drugs, their wives are unable to dissolve the marriages. That is really, really sad, and it's a bit maddening in my part because it's just so upsetting to see this, this article be so true, because to this day there are a lot of violent husbands out there. My father is, I don't know if I can include my father in that statistic, but I don't know. Yeah, that is really, really sad. And I hope it will change in the future. Now, marriages may be ended through annulment, which requires a civil case in which a judge decides whether or not to declare the marriage invalid. Like I said, an annulment. Okay. So, yeah, that's really, really, I keep emphasizing this, but it is saddening, it is upsetting, it is maddening. It makes me upset that my country, the Philippines, still outlaws divorce just because of religion. Like, I think this country overhypes Christianity, Like, so many people just keep telling people to just pray to God, pray to the Lord, pray to Jesus. like go to church every Sunday, go to church every day, or something like that. But it's just a coincidence. I don't even think that Jesus can grant your prayers if you pray over and over again. I think that's a textbook definition of insanity. But who knows? I know it's this podcast episode in general, like from the title itself, it is now, it's like very controversial, because this topic is taboo in this nation, because no one, like almost no one, wants to talk about divorce, which is maddening. Why do we need, like, why do we want people to be discouraged of talking about divorce? It's just the end of a marriage. Why do we keep telling people that the Lord is against this? What is the main purpose that you're keeping divorce illegal? I don't have the answer for that, but hopefully you do. Let's continue. An annulment requires proof that one spouse was psychologically incapacitated or under threat of force at the time of marriage, and that they have not freely chosen to live as man and wife at any point since. Other accepted grounds for annulment include serious deception, for example, an undisclosed drug addiction, diagnosis of an incurable sexually transmitted disease, or irreversible impotence. Wait, an accepted grounds for annulment includes impotence? Isn't impotence just having erectile dysfunction? Let's see. Yeah, inability in a man to achieve an erection or orgasm. That is grounds, by the way. You're outlawing divorce. Like, you're making divorce extremely illegal and making it taboo. But you can get an annulment if your husband is impotent. What? That is so comically laughable. Why are you what why are you trying, why do you still keep making divorce illegal when you can get an annulment because your husband can't get a boner? What That is baffling, my friends. That is baffling. Okay, I think that there we go. The Insta 360 is recording again. And like I said, what? Why do let's continue. Annulment cases can take up to 10 years, and even the quickest proceedings produce legal fees equivalent to about 50% of the average Filipino worker's annual income, meaning it simply is not an option for poorer families. Yeah, marriage is free. Like, getting into marriage is free, or if you want to be extravagant, it's extremely expensive. But getting an annulment and just ending a marriage is extremely, like, it's just as expensive as an elaborate marriage, if not more expensive. I don't know what to say, but come on. What? And here's the thing, adultery is also criminalized in the Philippines, with married women able to face up to 6 years in jail and men up to 4. That is outright sexual discrimination, if you ask me. Come on. Why? And let's take a look at unusual divorce laws remaining around the world. Saudi Arabia passed a law in January requiring courts to make sure a woman is notified via text message in the event of a divorce ruling ending her marriage. This was passed to combat secret divorces, a practice allowing men to divorce their wives without their knowledge. It also ensures alimony rights and prevents powers of attorney from being misused. And in Japan, a woman is required to wait 6 months after a divorce before she remarries. Men, on the other hand, have no necessary waiting time. So, that's it, I guess. That's divorce for you. It's a bit dark. Really dark, actually. But, I did get to discuss this issue in greater detail. Anyways, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully you're having a wider look, a wider perspective about this issue. And hopefully you will advocate for divorce in the future. I will also be advocating for divorce in the future. I will see you, I don't know when, but I will see you sometime. Anyways, this podcast will be releasing episodes on either Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays. Those are because Sundays and Fridays are a bit, a bit odd and a bit strange, if you would ask me. But yeah, so expect another episode in either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. I'd want this podcast to release an episode at least once a week. I hope that's achievable if I'll just record and film so many podcast episodes within 2-3 days. If I could do that, then it is achievable to get one episode a week at least. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say. That's it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We'll see you guys again in the next episode of the Discordancy podcast. Goodbye.